Hey there, Adapt Team. I just want to thank you for taking the time to review this short video submission. I'm going to do my best to keep it around 5 minutes. There's just a whole lot to pack in there. It's been quite the journey so far. Looking forward to taking you guys along the way. Thanks. So we're going to jump right into this trip down memory lane, and you'll see a picture of me from high school, 6'3", 170 pounds, just a string bean that loved to play basketball. Now we're going to take a somewhat scary jump forward in time to 2010, and you can see that I have changed fairly dramatically. Added about 100 plus pounds to my frame and was just generally unhealthy. So as you can see, I was in need of some form of wake-up call. That wake-up call came from a doctor's appointment that I made just because I wasn't feeling okay. I wasn't happy with the fact that I had to take a Zantac 150 every single day just to try and function without heartburn. At the doctor's appointment, he did a couple tests, hooked me up to some machines, and said, I have mild pericarditis. What that means is that the sac around my heart was being inflamed. You hear something with an itis, you get a little concerned. He makes it sound, super minor. And he just explains very casually that the fat in my body, the visceral fat, was suffocating up against the sac of my heart and was causing this issue. And it was just such a shock to me to hear that and to be like, just, through poor decisions and nothing intentional, just through essentially inattention, I'd caused this significant issue for myself. And so I really, really was kind of shocked, and that started me thinking that I really needed to work out a way to get my diet handled and under control. Before I get too lost in the details of what that first year was, really the big takeaways were, one, I stayed consistent with the diet I was using, or whichever diet I was using, I made sure I stayed consistent with. I started off with the 4-Hour Body diet, the slow-carb diet from Tim Ferriss. I moved into a more paleo diet, and I really stuck with that paleo diet for that first year. I didn't really have much of a framework for understanding nutrition and anything like that at the time, and it was just a very simple, very straightforward way for me to be able to keep track of everything and also keep myself accountable and make sure that I was compliant. Really, with any diet, compliance is number one. If you can manage that, you can, pretty much successfully lose weight with it. Around that same time, I decided I was going to get active. That whole year was really just a big debacle of attempts. The first thing I attempted was just to try and do about a half hour of walking for the first few months. I was moderately successful, nothing super significant. From there, I moved on to trying out a program that was really just push-ups, air squats, rinse, ring, repeat. Within a couple months, I was largely felt like I wasn't getting anywhere with that. Tried P90X, that just got me some soreness in my elbow, and for the rest of the year, it was just me trying to find some sort of way to just keep active. And overall, I can't say it was super successful, but because of how good I was with making sure I managed my diet and managed my food, I didn't see any significant increases in weight, and I just managed to keep losing for the whole year. It wasn't until June of the next year when I was volunteering for a youth program that I've been doing for almost 15 years now. And I did a Marine Corps PT obstacle course, and they said, if you like this, you have to try CrossFit. So naturally, I did the standard thing at the time. I just hit the Googles for what is CrossFit, found one in the area, and by the end of the next week, I was signed up and off and running. So joining CrossFit is really that point where everything sort of explodes for me with regards to health and fitness. I start to really take things much more seriously. I really find that love of coaching, because it's just that specific kind of teaching that just can't be beat, where you really get to get in depth and you really get to see the successes, and it just became one of my favorite things. Of course, along with CrossFit, I also found that deep love of the Olympic lifts, and it's, that's another specific subject. It's just one of my favorites to teach out there. In order to go through at the exact flow of the way that, you know, I progressed, we'd probably need a whiteboard and a whole lot of markers just to try and follow it out. But maybe that'll be a subject for another video if one comes up. But it's been a pleasure getting to share my journey with you and how it took starting off really thin, getting really fat, and then trying to find myself into some sort of healthy lifestyle after that kind of led me to where I am today. Thanks for your time.